and welcome back to In God We Trust podcast. Today we are going over Genesis chapter 5, and this is the line of Adam's family from Adam to Noah, and this is going from Seth, his child. So Adam had 3 children. There was Cain and Abel, and then after I think it was 130 years, he had Seth. So now we're going to be talking about the line, the family tree from Adam to Seth, and then down on. So that is what we're going to be going over today. Just a little warning for you guys. It's one of those books where it's like, and Enosh was the father of Canaan and stuff like that, but we're going to have a great conversation afterwards. So just stick with me here, guys. I apologize, but I mean, it's okay. You know, it's just like a few minutes of reading stuff like that. I mean, the conversation afterwards is definitely worth it. So we're going to be talking about how people did live that long, because people are always like, how'd they live so long in those Bible days, you know? Like, we're going to explain that today, something that makes sense. So, that's what we're getting into today. Now let's get right into the reading. Genesis chapter 5, from Adam to Noah. This is the written account of Adam's line. When God created man, he made them in the likeness of God. He created them male and female, and blessed them. And when they were created, he called them man. When Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son of his own likeness, in his own image. And he named him Seth. After Seth was born, Adam lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Adam lived 930 years, and then he died. When Seth had lived 105 years, he became the father of Enosh. And after he became the father of Enosh, Seth lived 107 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Seth lived 912 years, and then he died. When Enosh had lived 90 years, he became the father of Canaan. After he became the father of Canaan, Enosh lived 815 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enosh lived 905 years, and then he died. When Canaan had lived 70 years, he became the father of Mahueli. And after he became the father of Mahueli, sorry, that's definitely wrong, 100% wrong, but it's okay. Canaan lived 840 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Canaan lived 910 years, and then he died. Mahalalel had lived 65 years. He became the father of Jared. And after he became the father of Jared, Mahueli lived 830 years, and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Mahueli lived 895 years, and then he died. When Jared... Okay, why can't they just all be like Jared, you know? It's so easy. Okay, sorry, let's continue. When Jared had lived 162 years, he became the father of Enoch. And after he became the father of Enoch, Jared lived 800 years and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Jared lived 962 years. And then he died. When Enoch had lived 65 years, he became the father of Meshuel. And after he became the father of Meshuel, Enoch walked with God for 300 years, and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Enoch lived 365 years. Enoch walked with God, then he was no more, because God took him away. When Meshuel had lived 187 years, he became the father of Lamech. And after he became the father of Lamech, Meshuel lived 782 years, and he had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Meshuel lived 969 years, and then he died. When Lamech had lived 182 years, he had a son. He named him Noah, and said, He will comfort us in the labor of painful toil in our hands, caused by the ground the Lord has cursed. After Noah was born, Lamech lived 595 years, and had other sons and daughters. Altogether, Lamech lived 777 years, and then he died. After Noah was 500 years old, he became the father of Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Okay, kudos to you guys that stuck around. Thank you. I really appreciate that, because I know that it's not very interesting just hearing stuff like that, but it's cool hearing about how old they are, because they all are extremely old. And that is the first thing that I'm going to talk about, is how old all these people were. And first of all, Lamech is kind of cool because it was 777. Lucky number 7, Anyway, so first of all, just the best explanation for why people lived so long before the flood is that there was like a little like circle form around the earth, like the clouds. It formed, you know how there's like spotty clouds, and like some days there's no clouds at all. People believe that the sky was filled with like a lining around the earth that would kind of shade the people from the sun and like that radiation. So when God sent all that water for the flood, people believe that it came from there, and it filled the earth, because the earth already had water, and they believe that when that rain or water came from up top, that's what flooded the earth, and now people are not able to live as long because of that. The sun to human contact, and now that's just what we live with now. That's a pretty good explanation. Like, that makes kind of sense for me. But anyway, there was 2 main takeaways. That was the one. I hope you guys caught on with that. It was cool. I thought it was cool. So the other thing that I took away was, we are one of the first things that was said, and it's, when God created man, he made him in his own likeness of God. So we are created in the image of God, and I feel like not a lot of people think about that. I've just been thinking about that a lot more, because I always thought like God was like this big, like just crazy like looking God, but God created us in his own image. So God is a man, but he is God. Like, imagine if you went to school and you grew up with a boy, and he was the craziest guy ever, basically. And he just knew everything. That's God. It's mind-blowing to think about, because you can't really explain it like at all. But I told you guys this last week. I like pictured in my head like sitting across the table, and like it's God, but it's a man, like you could have a conversation with God because he's a man. And when you pray to God, it's like you're talking to a man, It's like, don't try to, I guess I don't want to tell you guys any like do's and don'ts, but I feel like you can just have open conversations. Like, it's not like God's gonna like not hear some of your prayers. Like, if you say a prayer to God, he's gonna hear your prayers. But think about this. I read this like the other day. So God is like our father, he's the creator of everything. And he said that if you were a father, like, what would you do to your child if he asked for something and it was going to be bad for your child? If you're praying for God to like give you something and to do whatever for you, like, God knows best, so his timing is better than yours. So imagine if you had a child, like, put yourself in God's shoes. Like, you wouldn't give your child something that would make him go do this terrible thing and draw away from you, You're going to give your child what you know is best for him, and you're going to deliver them what they want at the right time, So God has better timing than we could imagine. So that is something, talking with Ben Shapiro, I really wanted to plug the podcast and say, hey, if I would have just said the name In God We Trust podcast, first of all, I'm sure that would have gotten millions of views eventually, because Ben Shapiro, the day after, it already has 120,000 views, so I don't even know what it's at right now. But it's crazy. Like, I was upset at myself, and I was like, why? Like, why didn't I just say that right away, but that's not the conversation that God wanted me to have at the time. So even though I didn't get to do that, I just know that there's better timing. When it's meant to happen, God will make it happen. So you just have to trust God through every situation, and you'll have peace of mind, and you won't have a chip on your shoulder. Just do that, and everything will work out all right. So that's all I got for Adam to Noah. Tomorrow we are going to go over the flood, and that is starting with Noah. So I hope you guys stick around for that. It's a pretty good conversation, just more information. I love the information. So have a nice day. Spread this word. Share this with your friends. And if you haven't given it a rating yet, please do so. I would greatly appreciate that so we can grow organically. Have a nice day, and God bless.